Siddhartha, hippies sitting on the water listening to the river. Done.
Don't tell them to twist.
Hello, welcome to Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. I'm Scott.
I'm Nelle.
And today we're going to do a video. We've seen lots of other booktubers do this. It's, if you like that, then read this. Our recommendations go both ways. So if you like the first book, read the second book. If you like the second book, read the first book. And we're going to do this with a twist. We're doing this with one book that is considered a classic and the other book which is considered more modern. The first combination we've got is, if you liked Wuthering Heights, then you should read Her Fearful Symmetry by Audrey Niffenegger.
Okay, so you can talk about Wuthering Heights. Ready? Go.
Okay, well, Wuthering Heights is the combination of a ghost story and a love story, and nothing's happy. It is, I just used this word in the last video we shot, it's a bit of an anti-love story in that Heathcliff and Catherine are not really likeable characters. And there's a lot of deception and manipulating going on here, and then there's a ghost story underlying all of this as well.
Her Fearful Symmetry, ditto. I mean, it's not exactly the same book, it's nowhere near exactly the same book, but pretty much everything Scott said just then, except for the character names, could be applied to Her Fearful Symmetry. It is a ghost story, it is an anti-love story, it is also as lovely a read as Wuthering Heights. So what's our next pair?
Our next pair is, if you liked Jane Eyre, you should read Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine.
She's completely fine.
She's completely fine?
Yeah, she is.
She is. So Jane Eyre tells the story of a young girl's life. She is an orphan and she lives with her aunt. She's abused. She goes off to boarding school. Blah, blah, blah. She meets a man. And what is weird about Jane Eyre, I find, is normally in a romance story like this, you would have them describe how attractive everybody is, but instead you're constantly reinforced with how plain Jane is and how ugly Mr. Rochester is. And then there is obviously, there's more to it. There's a bit of a twist with some...
Don't tell them to twist. Scott gives spoilers.
Bit of a twist. The world ends and Jane saves it.
She's actually a zombie.
Is that a series where they redo all the Victorian classics as zombies?
There is, and I totally think we should read it. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine is similarly the story of an isolated character who finds someone to talk to, I guess, is how it is. Yeah, I loved it.
That was a really brief description.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
That's what we're going for, brief.
Yeah.
Alright. If you liked One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, then you should read 10 Days in a Madhouse by Nellie Bly.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is set in an insane asylum, and it explores the mental health system of the 70s?
60s, 70s, one of the two, I'm
not quite sure on the exact time frame that it's working with, but
it might even be 50s.
But it's the recent past. It deals with ideas of what is and what is not madness, the mental health industry as a control mechanism, racism in mental health, effectiveness of treatments, and etc., etc., etc. It is a stark depiction of the realities in an engaging fictional story.
10 Days in a Madhouse by Nellie Bly. Nellie Bly is a super interesting character. She was a reporter, and what she decided to do was get herself sent to an insane asylum and locked up and to report on it. And at the end of this 10 days, she basically said, I'm sane, you know I'm sane, but I couldn't get out if you didn't come and collect me. And she details what went on and the mistreatment of it was a women's insane asylum at the time. And I think this book is based in the 20s or 30s. Or it's not based, it's a non-fiction book. And it's just super interesting. It tackles all the same issues that Ken Kesey has tackled in Cuckoo's Nest, but instead of making a story, she's written what is essentially a rather long newspaper piece and published it as a non-fiction book.
Yeah, I also think the other key difference is all of her characters are women because she's in a women's asylum, and all the characters in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest are men, all the patients anyway. And I think that is a key difference. But everything else, the themes and the ideas that they're exploring are very similar.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest took material from Nellie Bly. They do tackle, what I was going to say is they tackle specific issues that are very similar, is what I was going to say. Our next one is, if you liked Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, then give Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance a shot. Siddhartha, hippies sitting on the water listening to the river. Done. That's my summary.
Disturbingly, I really want to read that. Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is part philosophy, part travel journal, part diary of a madman. It's just great. And I get the impression that it defies description in the same way that Siddhartha does.
They're both books about spirits. Can you say the word now?
I don't know what word you're trying. Spirituality. Spirituality,
thank you. Just got stuck. They're both books that explore that topic. They explore other topics as well. Like, that is super simplifying it. But that is, for me, the underlying theme in both the books.
Okay.
You don't agree?
That's not what I would say the main underlying theme of Zen is, no.
It is a theme in Zen.
Yes.
The next one, we go all the way back to Shakespeare, and if you liked Romeo and Juliet, try Time Traveller's Wife.
Talk about tragic love stories.
Yeah, that's it. Tragic love stories. That's all you need to know for that one.
Yeah, I think that if you like either one, read the other one. They're both beautifully written. They're both tragic love stories. Go.
All right. If you liked A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess, then give Trainspotting a shot.
Ooh, I like this match. I like this match quite a lot. They're both
language weird.
Language weird. They're both written in a form of English, I guess, that is not our common modern day parlance. And
both have incredible movies made of them. This could be a movie review, I feel.
And they're both super bleak.
Yeah.
And they both tackle the youth, I guess. The youth.
And if you liked Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, then give Donna Tartt's The Goldfinch a shot. There's a lot of underlying themes in both of these books, and to simplify either of them to say that these books are about this one topic is silly. Nonetheless, these books both are about guilt. Right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
They're very much about guilt. They both start off with the main character committing a crime, Rachmaninoff's crime is probably slightly worse than Theo's crime, but is almost justified as Theo's crime.
They're both a commitment.
I would say Donna Tartt's writing style is more accessible than Dostoevsky's.
I think that's often true of the more modern thing. Like, they're writing in our day-to-day language,
Yes.
whereas the classics do tend to be a bit more inaccessible.
Yeah, I find Dostoevsky takes quite a bit of concentration to get through, but he rewards that concentration for you in spades. So, yeah. And Donna Tartt rewards you for not having to have that concentration. The next on our list is, if you liked War and Peace, then give Sebastian Faulk's Birdsong a chance. Now, again, when you simplify books like War and Peace, you basically make yourself look like an idiot. But, and the same with Birdsong actually, that is an incredible book too. But a love story in the background of war is what these two books can be very much simplified to. Beautifully written books. The writing style of Sebastian Faulks is incredible, and I don't think any serious book fan is going to dish the writing style of Tolstoy, are they?
Not if they're near me.
You'll hit them, will you?
No, I'm lovely and never violent.
The next one we've got is If You Liked Germinal by Emile Zola.
Ooh, I like this one. Perfume, a try.
So, Zola he's an incredible writer, but the thing that everybody says after reading Germinal is nobody writes a crowd like Zola. Then give Perfume a try, because he writes a crowd pretty damn well too.
Yeah, I think that the crowd scenes in both of these books are pivotal, and they're both incredible, and the books around them similarly. So if you like one, read the other.
If you like We've Always Lived in a Castle, We've Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, then try The Elegance of the Hedgehog. Main character in We've Always Lived in the Castle is a...
Hedgehog?
No.
Oh.
You're very obsessed with hedgehogs.
They're so cute.
They are.
I had a dream about one last night, but anyway, let's carry on.
Main character in the horror novel by Shirley Jackson is a young girl who is a bit wrong. And if you like that character from We've Always Lived in the Castle, then you're going to really love the one of the two protagonists from The Elegance of the Hedgehog, the young girl who is a bit wrong. And the similarities between these characters, if you like one, you're going to like the other, and if you like the main character in a book, well, it's pretty hard to like the main character and not like the book. I think that's a talent.
I'm sure that's a skill I have. We'll try and make a video about that later.
Alright. If you liked Animal Farm by George Orwell, then give Oryx and Crake a shot by Margaret Atwood.
Oh, you're going to have to be careful when we talk about this one, because I haven't read this Margaret Atwood book, so don't ruin it.
Essentially, these two books are dystopian novels that aren't quite dystopian. They are political, and it's very hard. They're political novels that are also dystopian. Anybody who says that Animal Farm is not dystopian has not understood Animal Farm, because that's as dystopian as it gets. But Orwell wasn't interested in writing a dystopian, he was interested in writing a political critique. And then Margaret Atwood has written a political critique about society 50 years after Orwell. And the things that Orwell was ripping apart are not the things that Atwood's ripping apart. And the thing is, Orwell, Atwood, very smart people, both 100% right, and it lets you sort of see how the political landscape has shifted in that 55 years between these two books being written, and that is fascinating. Also, these two books are absolutely incredible books. That's a real strong pairing, in my opinion. Finally, the last one on our list is, if you liked Lord of the Flies, then you should read The Hunger Games, and of course vice versa.
Yes, because it's all about kids being left alone to kill each other.
It is.
And that's the end of the story.
It is. Well, we want to know, have you read any of these books we've discussed? Have we given you ideas of what books to read? Do you like our pairings? Do you disagree with our pairings?
Do you have any pairings of your own? We're going to do some more of these videos in the future. So any books that you like, that you would like a recommendation to match, mention them in the comments.
And I would also like to know if you've got a pairing that is a classic to a modern. And we've been quite liberal with our definition of classic and modern in this video because
It suits us.
Because nobody can agree on how old a classic has to be. Is Harry Potter a classic? I don't know.
It doesn't matter. We're in charge. It's our video.
So yeah, stuff you society. We've been Gunpowder Fiction and Plots, and plot just one, no S's, zero S's.
And there was lots of plots in this video.
Lots, yes. And remember, ideas are more powerful. They're more powerful than Nelle's will to be distracted by hedgehogs.
No, they're not.